The desert sun is baking the outside of the tent. Inside, a 17-year-old boy sits casually among his older brothers. He is wearing an ornate coat his father gave him, a coat none of his brothers have, and he is telling them a story. He tells them about a dream he had the night before. He says they were all binding sheaves of wheat in the field, and suddenly his sheaf stood upright, and their sheaves gathered around and bowed down to his. To his brothers, it sounds like the arrogant, harmless fantasy of a spoiled child. They look at him with absolute disgust. But here is what the teenage boy does not know. He does not know that this single conversation is going to violently shatter his life. He does not know that because of this dream, in just a few days, his own brothers will rip that coat off his back and throw him into a dry pit. He does not know they will sell him to foreign slave traders for 20 pieces of silver. He will spend his best years rotting in a lightless Egyptian dungeon. He does not know that this dream will cost him absolutely everything before it ultimately saves the entire world. We will come back to this boy in Egypt because what happened in that tent points to a terrifying and beautiful reality that modern people dismiss every single day. This is not a story about random neural pathways firing in the dark. This is not a story about your subconscious mind sorting through the events of the day. This is not a story about human psychology. This is a story about the God of the universe hijacking the human mind when its defenses are completely down. Think about how you operate. You build massive walls to keep God out. You build intellectual walls. You build emotional armor. You stay constantly distracted by screens and noise. You argue. You defend yourself. You hold on to control with a white-knuckle grip. But God has a strategy that bypasses every single wall you build. He waits for you to go to sleep. He waits until your hands are empty, your eyes are closed, and your brilliant arguments are shut down. And then, in the absolute vulnerability of the dark, he speaks. He uses dreams, what the ancient Hebrew text calls a shalom, not as random fantasies, but as targeted, divine interceptions. And when God interrupts a life in the dark, the waking world is never the same. Imagine you are that teenage boy. You had a dream. You thought it meant glory. Instead, you are sitting in the pitch black at the bottom of a dry well, listening to your own brothers negotiate your price with a passing caravan. Your coat is gone. Your freedom is gone. You realize with absolute crushing grief that when God gives a vision, he does not just hand you a picture of the finish line. He initiates the exact breaking process required to get you there. The dream was not a promise of instant success. It was a map directly into the fire. God spoke, and the immediate result was suffering. Here's what most people miss. God does not only use the dark to speak to innocent boys, he uses it to terrorize monsters. Fast forward hundreds of years. You are Nebuchadnezzar. You are the absolute tyrant of Babylon. You are the most powerful man on the face of the earth. You have crushed nations. You have burned cities. You sleep in a palace surrounded by thick stone walls, guarded by an army that makes other kings tremble. Nobody can touch you until you close your eyes. You wake up in the middle of the night, violently shaking. You are sweating in the dark. A terrifying image has just been burned into your subconscious. You realize for the very first time in your life that your massive, untouchable empire has an expiration date. God completely bypassed your entire army, bypassed your heavy timber doors, and walked right into your bedroom. You are terrified, but you are also paranoid. You call in every wise man, every astrologer, and every magician in Babylon. But you don't just want an interpretation, you demand that they tell you the dream itself. You tell them that if they cannot extract the exact images from your own mind, you will tear them limb from limb and turn their houses into rubble. They panic, they fall on the floor, they cry out that no human being can do this. And they are right, no human can. Enter Daniel. He is a young Jewish captive. He is a man whose entire nation was destroyed by the exact king sitting on the throne in front of him. But Daniel steps out of the crowd. He steps right into the fire. He stakes his own life and the lives of his friends on the ability of the God of Israel to reveal a pagan tyrant's subconscious terror. Daniel looks the most dangerous man on earth directly in the eyes. He describes a massive, terrifying statue, a head of gold, a chest of silver, thighs of bronze, and feet of iron mixed with clay. And then he describes a stone, a single massive stone not cut by human hands. It flies through the air, strikes the fragile feet of the statue, and crushes the greatest human empires to dust. The wind blows them away like chaff. Nebuchadnezzar, the king who bows to no one, falls on his face before a captive. He realizes the God of Daniel is the God of gods, the Lord of kings, and a revealer of mysteries. You are starting to see the pattern. When human kings and human logic build massive defenses while awake, God simply waits for them to go to sleep. He bypasses their armor completely. If you want to understand the hidden, supernatural realities of Scripture that most people ignore, make sure to subscribe. Stay with me, because the history of these midnight interventions goes even deeper. You need to understand how the ancient world viewed the dark. In Babylon and Egypt, kings and priests practiced something called dream incubation. They desperately wanted the gods to speak to them, so they would sleep in specific temples. They performed elaborate rituals. The Babylonians even had a massive, complex dream manual called the Ziqiqu to help them decode their own minds. They tried to force the divine to speak on human terms. They wanted a God they could control. But the God of the Bible does not need a temple ritual. He does not need a manual. He does not need your permission. He ambushes. But it gets stranger. Fast forward hundreds of years. We are leaving the massive, wealthy palaces of Babylon. We are going to a tiny, dusty, obscure town called Nazareth. You are a quiet, ordinary carpenter named Joseph. You are a good man. You play by the rules, and your heart is completely broken. The teenage girl you are supposed to marry is pregnant, and you know the child is not yours. The shame in a first-century Jewish village is absolute. The whispers have already started. The religious law gives you the right to have her publicly disgraced. You could demand justice, but you love her. So you make a logical, safe, rational plan. You decide to divorce her quietly. You are going to cut your losses, save whatever is left of your reputation, and walk away from the mess. You go to sleep. Your bags are mentally packed. Your logical defenses are perfectly in place. You have figured it all out, but God is waiting for you to close your eyes. An angel of the Lord appears to you in the dark. The Greek text in the Gospel of Matthew uses a specific word here, onar. It means a dream. But Matthew uses it exclusively to describe the targeted, divine warnings that surround the birth and protection of the Messiah. The angel speaks directly into your shattered subconscious. Joseph, son of David, do not fear to take Mary as your wife, for that which is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. Think about the sheer weight of what God just did. With one sentence spoken in the dark, God completely hijacked this man's life. He hijacked his reputation. He hijacked his quiet, safe, comfortable plan. He gave an ordinary carpenter the most important mission in the history of the universe: to raise, protect, and name the Son of God. Joseph wakes up. The dream is over. But the waking world has completely changed. He does exactly as the angel commanded. He takes Mary as his wife. He accepts the scandal. He steps into the fire. Think about the profound, terrifying vulnerability of sleep. Every single night you have to surrender. You have to take off your titles. You have to take off your armor. You have to shut down your brilliant logic. You lie down in the dark and lose consciousness. In that state, a billionaire is exactly as helpless as a prisoner in a cell. We spend all day striving, arguing, and trying to protect ourselves. And God simply waits. He waits for our human striving to stop. He waits for our defenses to drop. Now watch what happens next. Because we have to go back to Egypt. We have to go back to the teenager in the coat. He is not a teenager anymore. The pit did not kill him. The slave traders did not break him. The Egyptian dungeon did not destroy his mind. He is now a grown man. He is 30 years old, and he is the second most powerful man in the greatest empire on earth. A massive famine has devastated the ancient world. People are starving, and one day a group of desperate men walk into his court begging for food. They are his older brothers, the very men who threw him into the dirt and sold his life for 20 pieces of silver. They do not recognize him in his Egyptian royal robes, and then they bow down. They place their faces on the marble floor. In that exact second, the dream from the tent rushes back. The teenager thought the dream was about his own glory. He thought it was about his own arrogance. But standing there as a grown man, looking down at the starving men who tried to murder him, he realizes the terrifying beauty of what God was actually doing. The dream was never about his ego. The dream was a map. It was a divine strategy planted in his subconscious years ago to put him in the exact position necessary to save the very people who broke his heart. When God gives you a vision in the dark, it is almost never for your own glory. It is given so that you can survive the fire and pull the people you love out of the flames. Here is the truth about what it means when God speaks in the dark. There are three things you must remember. First, when God speaks in the night, he completely bypasses your human logic and your human defenses. He does not need your permission to intervene. Second, the vision God gives you might cost you absolutely everything before it actually comes to pass. The dream is not a promise of instant success. It is a map through the fire. But there is one final thing, and it is the most beautiful reality of all. The ultimate comfort is that even when you are unconscious, even when you are completely helpless and your hands are empty, the God of the universe is actively working out your salvation. He does not sleep so that you can. Which dream in this video challenged or comforted you the most? Tell me below. The sun is rising. The dream is over. It is time to wake up.